Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
This would be a swing in a different direction. Have you played Tarkov recently?
I have. I play.
Have you seen how expensive these fucking VSS mags are? If you don't can't get it from a trader.
No, but I assume everything's been going up since I was able to sell a VSS and an AS Val for about like 200K each the other day.
Yeah, the mags are 50K a pop.
Ooh, cause I got a Dorm's Mark key on my scab, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. After looting several players, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess I'll just go hit Dorms. And it's like, oh, look, a VSS. I'm like, do I take it out? Do I not? I'm like, it's a VS. Fuck it. Yeah, because I'm like debating between that and other stuff, and I get it out. I'm like, what the? Why are these so expensive?
Dude, yeah.
Well, I heard M61 saw a couple videos on it. I didn't really understand the point. Like the craft got nerfed, and I'm like, well,
Hold on.
The craft's always been nerfed though. Like it's always.
Yeah, they've been nerfed again. Now it's even annoying for me. Like I'm even just like, ugh, I've been crafted BP just because it's like whatever.
Yeah,
I crafted when I needed, I guess. But
it's.
I just use 5581 because I mean I can buy it. I don't have to fucking craft it.
Well,
that's the main thing.
That's actually a great segue because it goes back into, I guess we can kind of start the podcast here. I'll figure out a time to start it nice with the edit, but so with like crafting in games, and I guess to bring back what we were talking about just a moment earlier, where it's like I feel I make better videos when I have less time to edit them. Like if I'm constrained, like you have to edit this, like this is your only period to edit today, as opposed to like I can edit a few hours throughout the day. I make better content. I might make less content, but I make better content. Versus, and it's the same way with the crafting, because you have less of the, like with you've been playing a lot. Like, have you noticed, like, do you have less ammo? Like, nice ammo, does it force your, like, gun changes a lot more, I guess?
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. Maybe I am just good enough to where it doesn't affect me as much as it would on a casual player. But I always have over 500 of each ammo that I want to use.
That was always my issue with Tarkov. People would be bitching about ammo, and I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, I open up 8 ammo cases. I'm like, I don't have.
I have like 1,000 VP. I have like 500 55A1 and like 700 6A1. Like 500 SP6. And that's what pretty much, and a bunch of M80 and M62s, like 400 M62s. Like that's really all I'm going to use. But I'm not going to SA58 it down an alley. Like it's just not how I play. So I don't know.
Well, I guess does it make you? I guess with the ammo changes, like with the craft, does it make you appreciate the ammo you have more? I guess a little bit, or do you look at it?
I would say yes, but I've always thought of it like that anyway. I've always been like very scarce of my ammo, regardless. Yesterday was one of the first raids I ever shot over like 200 rounds in a raid.
Ooh, oh.
Like I shot like 280 rounds. I was just letting shit loose. Probably like 4 60-round mags.
You're gonna hate me. I'm like 200 rounds might be low for me in a raid. Like but that's the reason I bring shit ammo is because, well, like if I'm playing with a group and I'm being if I'm doing like when I did Sherpa stuff, I'm bringing M61, I'm bringing M62 or M993, 995. I'm bringing all the top tier ammo when I'm doing Sherpa or I was doing like serious group stuff. But when I was like playing to enjoy Tarkov, I think it was probably about like 3,000 hours in, maybe about 3,200 hours, and I was like, I kept bringing the best stuff. And I'm like, does this? I know it sounds weird, but does this make me better at Tarkov? Because I'm getting less time to shoot people. I guess like I'm getting less time to actually have to aim on people, because you're able to kill them in 1 or 2 shots. I'm like, well, let me try playing with shittier guns, and that was kind of my stint into going. I want to go full rap mode and like 0 to hero, and I started like learning how to melee people more, and that was that taught me more about myself and more about Tarkov than anything when I decided to flip the meta on its head and just say screw meta ammo, screw everything, and just learn how to shoot with anything. And it actually gave me a much greater appreciation for all of the systems in Tarkov. And I don't appreciate the ammo because it's like, it's such a hard thing to teach people. And then it's such a hard thing for casuals to get that I look at it. I know I have a different viewpoint on this than you get. Like it's to me, I empathize with the person who's casual. And so when I go to pull the trigger, when I got the decked out SR25 with M61 in it, like I feel bad. Like there's a part of me that feels bad, and it's hard to turn that emotion off because this isn't hard for me to get. And then I played this wipe where I'm only playing like 200-300 raids this wipe so far between PMC and Scav. Like I think I'm at like 250, something like that. And it's like I have all that high tier ammo. I'm like, I don't understand the casual complaint now. The complaint is they just don't know the game. And so I'm kind of like completely 360'd on that, or 180'd on it, sorry, where it's I'm back to my original viewpoint of like, I don't mind killing these people now. Like I did for a long time, I did. And it was like right around Go's video, taking a break from all this and just like playing this wipe casual to.
You're a goater, dude.
I love his video. His video just it woke something in me. Oh, you mind if I do the welcome real quick before we get so,
please.
So if this is your first time to the podcast, welcome to FtBFtL, Fear to Burn and Friends to Learn, a talk show where gamers discuss the tactical genre, including gaming philosophy, concepts, systems, bugs, cheats, content creation, and more. We're your hosts, FearJBaller and Rectorol. We hope you'll join us on our journeys to understand better and improve while preserving our favorite genre. Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm immediately saying an too. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to stop.
Get it together.
Yeah, get it together. We need to
stop milking it. Okay.
Yeah, we got a min max.
Yeah, dude. So I just learned today. I was playing with my buddy Scold, and I just learned today that if I free look, like say to the left or the right when I'm gazelle hopping around, you get better strides.
Isn't like the left foot jump, you get a longer jump on the left foot?
I think that's the way it works, yeah, but I think it's like you can see it easier when you're like looking to the left, so it's like this weird placebo effect of you hitting like the timing right more and more. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
Pretty good.
But I was doing it.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at, no, you can do it the normal way, but like my buddy said, just try it. And I tried it. I'm like, it was like this weird placebo effect of you consistently hit the left foot more. I don't know why. Maybe you could see the ground coming faster at a different angle. I don't know.
It's gotta be what it is. You can actually, because you probably, when you're looking to the left and right, you get the shoulder bob a little bit, even though you don't, even if you can kind of see like, on. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can kind of see like where my body is a little bit better, I guess. I think that's what it has to do with. But it was working, and I was like, "Damn, are you fucking with me right now? Is this a placebo effect?" And it was. I was bouncing, dude. I was schmooving out there.
I might have to steal that.
Schmooving on the streets.
That's one of the hardest things to teach people in Tarkov. Is like your left foot and your right foot are independent of each other, and they affect how your gunplay is going to work. And it's weird to talk about an FPS, like, because normally when people talk about like footwork in a shooter, right, it's just like how fast can I click WASD QE? Like it's not
right. Yeah.
Realistically, that's most footwork, and it's can you wiggle appropriately and shit.
Yeah. Not. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
But Tarkov's like one of the few games where I've had to pay attention to my foot and what foot I'm walking on.
Yeah, I see that. I wish you can really swing. Like inertia can really fuck you up if you're not aware of that, and if you're not kind of abusing it the way that you can. If you get caught off of that, there are dire consequences, especially if you're heavy.
Oh, especially if you're trying to do jumps in the middle of a fight. Like if you screw up a fight mid jump, it's I did a dirty jump. So on Shoreline how you can't jump out of the windows on first floor, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I got in a fight with a guy, and I'm like, I don't know a better way to do this. I was in that cargo barrel building past Sanitar's office on the first floor. And I'm like, I don't know a better way to win this fight because he's not pushing me. I'm not going to push him because Sanitar is also like right there. So I'm like, I'm going to make him think I'm a Timmy. So I shot the glass out and tried to jump out the window. And then immediately turned and he just pushed. And I was like, oh, that worked beautiful. Just, which is one of the things I don't know how this works on that, but like understanding the jumps in Tarkov, and like, it's one of the reasons I hate Shoreline PvP. Shoreline PvP is just tricking people or exploiting. There's no, like,
Dude,
I've
okay,
never gotten a
yes.
straight up
Dude,
firefight there.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I fucking hate Shoreline, and if you like Shoreline PvP and Resort, I hate you too. Because it's so dumb.
It's so
hate
dumb.
it.
It's the worst. It's the
When
worst.
people are like, "Oh,
PvP
dude, I
zone."
love PvP on Shoreline," I'm like, "Why?" There's just it can be fun. It can be fun, but there are just other places that have more fair PvP, not just getting abused by bugs, and it's just irritating.
The worst was when I decided, me and my duo, we pushed high level perception for a wipe, and we got up there, and I got
I'm
it.
almost there.
Yeah, so if you put on Comtac 2s or 4s, and you sat still on the 3rd floor of the east wing,
Okay.
you can hear the entire complex.
Holy shit.
Yes. We tested it, because I'm like, I'm going to sit here and you just run around. And I'm like, I'm going to call where I think you are. And he's like, how are you hearing? Like, he'd be back by the truck you got to plant the marker on. And I'm like, and he starts sprinting.
Oh,
like,
damn.
I got you. I'm like, are you back by the truck? And he's like, yeah, I'm like, oh, he's like, how are you hearing me? I'm like, oh, this is how I walk in the complex, and I get a team of Chads that just run up on me and murder me. Because you have one person that just sits and listens. And it's stupid easy. And I think we tried it for a couple raids, and like, he's like, we're getting kills left. I'm like, we're getting kills left and right, and it's fun. I'm like, yeah, but does it feel good? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah. It doesn't feel good.
That's a
Like I think about that, and I get it. Like the base mechanic is that you want to hear people coming in because it's a game and you want to be ready for them. But I don't know. That's just too extreme. You should hear them when they enter the building, or like when they're under a floor under you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not paying attention.
and it's gotten a lot better with Oculus audio. I give them major
Steam,
kudos
yeah,
to
Oculus.
stay.
Steam is gone.
Steam is gone, and it's better because it's more consistent, but it's still broken. But it's broken more consistently, I feel like, which is like, I just have to avoid certain zones. So stairways are still problematic in Tarkov. They always have been. They probably always will be. But
Yeah.
stairways in real life are also kind of hard to audio locate on. I don't know if you ever had a conversation in a stairway or tried to do something in a stairway where you're
No, it is. It is.
and it's
If it's weird if you lay down next to a stairway and you're above it and people are talking around it, the audio gets really weird. And if you're laying down with back on the, it's really hard to tell where their audio is actually coming from, even though they're like directly down the stairs. It kind of sounds like they're upstairs. It's really weird. It's actually, it's fucking weird. I've noticed that at one of the houses I was in. I was like, damn, this is weird. Never noticed that shit before.
awesome.
I assumed it was because of like the wall. Maybe they weren't thick enough. But if you're saying that too, then that makes sense. It makes more sense on why
I think
audio sounds funky.
It's because how they're trying to do those like zones, and they're building it in such a. I watched how they were building the zones, and they showcased off like they're like doing these audio blocks, and I'm like, as somebody who used to do map design in video games, not for fun, not for like professional, but like I'm like, it seems like such a back asswards way to do audio management, because most things I've modded and developed in, like, it's not how you do audio sources. Like, just an object is an object. When sound hits it, this is what happens. And I don't know. It seems like they're going to try to really fine tune the audio, and it'll work. What they're doing is 100% going to work, because they're manually making audio zones. So like, if you come into this area, you don't hear this area, right? Like, it just seems tedious. seems very tedious to me, but I will. You know what? They got audio engineers working on it. I guess one would hope.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
I don't want to go too deep into that topic. I don't know much. I can't speak too eloquently on it. But So I'm curious. So
About?
to switch this kind of like into another topic. So Tarkov on YouTube right now is
Uh-huh.
also, to me, like, I know we're in the mid wipe, and I think this is one of the problems I always have with like making content, as I'm always thinking about this stuff too. It's like Tarkov feels relevant still, but it's the mid wipe. So I'm not, for the first time in forever, I'm not making like mid wipe videos.
All right.
I'm not doing any of the there's like people who make content for Tarkov, like the hardcore streamers. And I don't even look at them as a skill based. I think their lives are in such good order for streaming already that if I'm gonna use like Jesse Kazam or Veritas, right, for example. Right, their lives are already so well set up around content creation that the actual act of going into Tarkov and pushing for Kappa early on is not difficult for them. So they're gonna be at those high tier tasks a lot earlier. Whereas we're, I guess you kind of hardcore it too. I did it for a while. Even hardcoring, I was like, I need to take breaks to, I don't have editors. Like I
Yeah.
gotta take break to do that and stuff. And it's, um, so I look at, I guess I'm trying to make where the curious points coming in here. Talking about those rants from earlier. Usually at this point in the wipe, I'm making content around like tutorials, or I would be doing, like a lot of my Shooter Born in Heaven stuff, doing a lot of sniper play, or doing a lot of like the high level tasks that are just grind out. Oh god, what was the one I really got hung up on? I got hung up on the scavs on Lighthouse, the one where we got to kill a bunch on the road, because I just
Okay. Yeah.
couldn't get them to spawn on the road. I'm like, I was patrolling this thing, and it's like, if you patrol the road, you're just getting shot by snipers too the entire time. So you can't really patrol the road. There's no place to sit to watch them all spawn and snipe, unless you're on Dead Tree Hill, and then you're right in the middle of the map. And so, but it was a lot of fun because I had a lot of fun making content in that. Like, it's putting me in a situation outside myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm in Tarkov and I'm playing just to play. And it brings me back to the saying you always had, is like, when are you making content? When are you playing? And it's a weird thing for me to be in because I don't. So for me, I've felt like Tarkov's in a lull, but I don't know if that's me personally or that's the mid wipe. So I'm curious, do you feel that like Tarkov from like an algorithm is on a, I don't know, I guess, does it feel different from other wipes to you? I know we're kind of on a journey together. I don't want to say together, but like,
Dude, I don't
yeah.
know. My whole content just is scorched. I don't know. I upload a short, it'll get 5,000 views now. Upload a short, it gets like 6 views. So I honestly don't know.
Oh God, I did.
Like it's been like that for a while. So I took a break from like uploading every day, just streaming and gaming and just recording and shit. I mean, I still got all the videos. I'm just gonna upload them later, but it's like, I don't know. I'm doing everything the same that I've been doing that's been working, and then one day it just stopped.
Yep. Yeah, that's why
And it like just stopped. Went from literally 5,000. Next video uploaded was like 17 views. I was like, huh.
and you're sitting there and you're wondering, like, is it something I did wrong? And that's what I was getting. Yeah, it's like, is
The
it
video
something
has
I'm doing
it
wrong?
has a great like ratio, like to view ratio. It has over 100% of like means that people watch it more than once.
Right, it's
And
got
I'm
good
just like,
retention. Yep.
yeah,
And
it's got great retention, 120%. A lot of likes on it. 20 likes, like 25 views. I'm like, why isn't it getting pushed out? Like, what's going on? It just sits.
yeah, and
That makes no sense, dude.
yeah, and that's where, like, I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm watching. Like, I had a one go kind of decent like push up in views on my main channel, which I was happy about. But like, I watch it and it's one that I put maybe about 5 minutes worth of effort into. Right, because it's just are you familiar with like the girl with autism meme with the red striped shirt? Where
No.
so it's a great meme because it says girls with autism, and then it's a girl, and she's like she's like trying new music for the first time, and then it's like shakes her hand, she gets excited little hands, and then there's just a blank space on the side of the meme with boys with autism, and so you put whatever you want in it, right? Because it's a meme, so you can like, hey, this is what girls who are autistic do, this is what boys who are autistic do,
And it's the Tarkov guy playing Tarkov.
and then it's just you cut into doing something insanely stupid in Tarkov, which for me was burning durability on scav weapons on factory, which involves a lot of shooting and a lot of unhappy player scavs because they think something cool is going on, they come over and it's just you shooting a wall. But like I watch it and I go like, I talk to a few of the fans that really liked it, and I talk to people in real life that watch my channel, and they're like, bro, that meme slaps so hard. I'm like, I don't understand how that slaps hard. And then the thing I put 8 hours worth of effort into, like, I'm gonna write an idea down, I'm gonna action it, I'm gonna like why doesn't that work? And it's so confusing. But if I didn't do the 8 hours of work, that short little meme wouldn't have been as easy for me to make, when I come around to make it. And it's this weird thing with like editing that I've been learning. Like,
well, when you give yourself a time constraint, you tend to push out anything, and sometimes it comes out just being something good. And so you like associate that with being like extra creative, and you're just doing the same thing, but you actually just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it doesn't mean anything at all.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that's
what I think. Because when I was like doing the everyday thing, like I tried, you do 3 for me personally. Like you uploading 3 videos a day might be not the same as like me uploading 3 videos a day. For instance, like you work in 8 hours a day, you come home, you edit for as long as you edit, but you make something really great within that 1 hour. For me, I'm giving myself that same kind of like pressure by just uploading every day. So it's like I'm always constrained to pushing something out. Does that make sense?
No, it does, because that was me over the summer, right? Because I dedicated.
But you would just burn yourself out by uploading those videos, like, you know what I mean? So you would,
yes,
you're better at just producing one real good thing per day versus like grinding out all day on a lot of different things.
But what's funny,
that's what it seems like.
Well, with shorts now, I've been uploading 3 shorts a day for, I've been pushing 3 shorts a day to my shorts channel for the last, I want to say almost like 2 months now, with like a few days here and there being like maybe only no videos or 1 or 2 videos, but most days 3 videos, which was a challenge. And like I want to get the second channel to 1,000 subs. Then once it gets there, I was like, I'm gonna really start fine-tuning. Yeah, because but I still look at it, and I finally was able to articulate this to myself the other day mid conversation to somebody, because Senjo brought it up where he's like, I don't understand the difference between your main channel and your side channel.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, do I either? And I'm like, I don't know if I do or not. And then I went back and watched some of my older shorts. And if I didn't have a space to upload and like watch back and analyze some of my older, dumber content, I wouldn't have the ability to like I build a sequence, or I build a meme, right? And I think this is a bit different for me because I'm memeing, so it might be a bit different than you. But like I'm building a sequence, or I'm building like, I want to do this in this way, right? Like I want to. A great example is South Park has a great moment in it where 2 of the characters are holed up in a Chinese restaurant, and the one just starts shooting people in the dick. And
Jesus.
Right, but it's funny because it's just like every time he does, it's like, man, you gotta stop shooting people in the dick. So it's a really easy meme to do for a video game, because you just, you shoot someone in the dick, or you show someone getting shot in the dick, and then you just opacity the meme in, right? But learning how to do that with timing, right? Because it's like, you can just do that, but it's gonna look stupid if you, like, the first 2 or 3 times you do it, it just looks stupid. And then you do it once and you're like, oh, now I understand why it works, because you're like brute force learning, I guess is the way I do it. But it's,
so when you make content, it's on the, I don't know, lately, I guess, if I look at your shorts, it's comedy stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, I never really thought about it yourself as comedy, but now that I'm sitting here, like it's kind of like
It's
comedy,
meant to show the comedy.
comedy structure.
Yeah, I generally try to show comedy through loss. Like, because to me, what I clip more is me getting, like, I do clip me being like a W sometimes just to, because I think it's funny, but I love if you can have like a win foul video where it's like, you show me winning, you show me fouling, you show me winning, and then you show me ultimately fouling. But did I win or did I foul? You don't know. But at the same time, it's got like a humor line through it.
Okay.
That's the structure I'm trying to go for, and it's a good way to are you familiar with I don't. Do you play music at all? Like,
Yes.
you play an instrument? Okay. Actually, what do you play out of curiosity? I think we talked about
Percussion.
this. Percussion. Oh God, you're a drummer. Like a march drummer or drummer set or both.
Drummer set.
Drummer set. Okay. I play one of the few instruments that gets along very nicely with just it and drums. Curious if you can guess that.
Piano.
Piano's good. Nope. I play bagpipes.
Bagpipes. You know what? You told me this. You told me you play bagpipes.
I do. Oh yeah. And
Maybe I just want. Maybe I just hoping you play piano.
I do.
I like piano.
Well, I do play organ, which is similar to piano.
Okay.
But,
Sure. Yeah. Keys for sure.
It's keys, but I haven't played in a long time. We have
Ominous tones.
dark, ominous tones. I love that movie.
Dude, I love that movie.
Oh God,
it's honestly one of my favorite fucking movies. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those ones you can always watch, like Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, because it's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's feel dumb humor. Oh God, I tried
feel dumb humor, like locked in time. Like you always know like what time, like what year that was. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like Adam Sandler movies.
So with memes, it's really I got humor in general and life in general, but it's the same thing with music. I think music exemplifies this the best. Like the easiest way to create music is you create a call and a response. So any like good like have you ever done a drummer off like with somebody?
Yes.
Okay. So right, like it's that. And if you can do that tempo with memeing and with editing, like taking that approach to it where it's you're doing something, like you're making a call and then you hard edit at the end of the call and then you're answering with an edit.
Gotcha.
That, but learning like when does the call end and when does the answer start and how to show the audience that. Oh God, that's a hard thing that I'm still trying to figure out. Cause like sometimes I hit it and then sometimes I'm like, I think this is the funniest shit in the world and I get it and nobody understands what I'm trying to show in the video. They're just confused.
Right. Yeah. It's just timing. The timing is off. I think that's what happens. That's the hardest part. I mean, comedy is everything. Comedy is timing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do you I don't think you have in a while. Like are you trying to work on or edit any like long form videos? I know you normally stream.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was gonna say like every single one of your edits for a while has always been like, and I get it. I'm the same way. Like I go through stints where I'm like, I'm just gonna upload like 2-minute or less clips to my, because it's
fucking easy.
Well, it's easy, but you're also trying to explore what works and what people understand before.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100%. 100%. Yeah. That's a better answer. I like that one better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I vote that one, please. Mark it on the statement.
Yeah, because you don't want to make. I mean, do you want to dump 30 minutes? I want to say 30.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, no. I mean, that's why. Because exactly, that's why I did shorts. It's easier to make a short. It's easier to make a bunch of them. Easier to see what works. Instead of making like a 30-minute video that takes so long to make, you can only get out like 2 a week. You know what I mean? You can get out 20 shorts a week.
But those 30-minute videos, like working on them, and this is what
takes so long.
It takes so long, but you learn so much, and that's
true.
That's been a hard thing for me to like juxtapose against itself. Like I think this is the problem with like trying to do too much at once too always, and I'm trying to cut back because it's like one of the things I struggle with right now is editing the podcast shorts, and because I don't know how to clip a podcast. Like I realized as soon as I started doing it, I'm like, I think it's easy because I can physically do the short, and the short, like the shorts themselves are like they're good from an editing and technical perspective, as in like everything. You can hear all the audio, the subtitles are on point, you know, the coloring theme, like it's a consistent short for a podcast.
Right.
But I don't know that like where I'm starting a point and where I'm ending the point is, because I think like you were like, a lot of my stuff tends to be more comedy or meme. You know, it's hard to understand, like, especially with a conversation where it's like I want people to understand the nuanced points, but the whole point of a short is not a nuanced point. It's this is the point up front and center. And like I look at all the shorts I enjoy and there is no nuance to them. They're just, you know, in your front opinions and facts, or in your front in your face emotions, which are weird and odd to do. I don't think you have, because I haven't seen any of it. Have you ever made emotional content on your channel? That's a weird way to put that, but like
I call on video every Friday.
oh God, all right.
Oh, what do you mean exactly?
So, like, we all have our individual issues, and I don't want to be like, have you ever made a mental health video, but like a video where you're talking to your audience on a more emotional level.
No,
like,
I've always wanted to try something like that, Sam.
Because it's weird to, it's always weird.
I got a story, dude.
Oh, so I guess well, I guess we could move on to the main point we were going to kind of talk about tonight, if you're ready, which is imposter syndrome, and everything we kind of been talking to up to this point. Hold on. Oh, please tell me. Give me a sec.
What? You're right over there.
I'm gonna stop the recording. Give me a sec, and I'm gonna restart it. I don't know if the recording's screwed up or if the time is screwed. Like, because I don't know if Streamlabs just sometimes it does it. It says that it's recording, but it's not increasing the time. It hasn't been.
Oh yeah. It might be you running out of space.
All right, give me a sec to just listen to the old one to see where it ended. Not that it matters. We'd have to pick up anyways, but not a nuance point. It's just sometimes it does it. It says that it's recording, but no, we're good. It recorded the full hour. Okay. Since that was recording.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's okay. Oof. I always get nervous with it because it's you can only have a conversation once, which is I know I was going to talk about imposter syndrome. Have you So do you sift a lot when you edit, or do you like already have the moment? Sift? Yeah, do you know what that term is? Or okay, so when you put your video on a reel or on a timeline, and then you like look through it to figure out what moment you want to use, or do you already have your moment picked out and you just cut that moment into your timeline?
I had the one picked out.
Okay. Ooh, that's so sifting is something I hate the most, because I hate
doing it.
Yeah, and
I try to never do it.
It's one of the reasons I really want to get a second computer to like stream through, because I can't shadow play and stream at the same time. Like I can, but
and the quality just gets to shit.
The quality gets to shit. I can't back to back shadow play is a problem. So if I have a sequence and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great, but I need like 15, like I gotta clip 2 more sections on this, because like a raid starts off really good, or you know, but because I hate using my stream quality, because it's just, oh god, it's garbage. It's so
yeah. That's why I fucking have the second, is to record and stream at the same time. 100% the only reason why.
You know, let's hope it's a goal for this year. I got a few other, it's trying to prioritize things in my life, but I'm like, I'm gonna be doing the computer upgrade soon. I'm gonna be finally getting to a new card.
Good.
Don't know what yet, but you know, my what I got in this thing, a 2080. She's she's put her work in. So
Yeah.
she's gonna go put her
Yeah,
work in
dude.
on the girl's computer now. So that's
Um,
it's one of the nice ways to, I think, number one,
what
I love having a partner that games.
what's coming out of her computer in its place?
What is coming out of her computer is my old 1660, which is going to go in the streaming rig.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
That makes all the better
yep.
sense.
Oh yeah. And it's I love taking care of my parts. I love having like hand-me-down parts, and it makes it easy to justify doing an upgrade a little bit more, because everything I take out of my computer gets built into hers. And normally there's no game coming out where she's like, I need a computer, I need stuff ready to go. But Diablo 4 is coming out, and she
True.
we bonded really hard over Diablo 3. It was the first. She took a week off work. I took a week off work, and she moved her computer into my bedroom, and we just played for like a week
awesome.
straight. Right, it's super fucking dope. And I was like, oh, absolutely hated playing the game with her. We very much learned we don't play video games together after that. Like we do a little bit. Like we like fighting arcade games, but God,
You're trash. Can't stand playing with you.
So
you're not clutch, babe.
No, she's just really, oh God, she's like really OCD with story and completionist. So if there's 10 flowers to collect in the region, we don't leave the region until we collect those 10 flowers. And I'm like, but doesn't matter that the story's ready to progress. Doesn't matter that, we could be in the next zone. We could be 2 zones ahead with our gear already. Like, nope, we're here. We're here because there's a random NPC to talk to as well. And we got to learn about their story. And I enjoy those things in the game, but I don't go out of my way to find them, and she goes out of her ways to find them. And it was a hard compromise. We tried, and just nope.
Not happening.
Well, that's part of learning the game with people. It's like sometimes you don't
100%.
So you have a lot of people that you like. You have some real life friends that you game with, and some I know like people you met through YouTube that you game with.
Funny enough, everybody that I game with, even if I know them in real life, I met them through gaming.
Ooh.
Or YouTube or streaming. Yeah. None of my real life friends that I know in real life, I play game with. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, kind of like, I don't know, thing.
So you've never done a LAN party in real life out of curiosity, or
20 years ago in high school, yeah, like early middle school, shit like that.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. The last one was, oh God, it would have been less than 10 years ago. I'm just trying to remember what game we did it, because I know I took off for Swoder. I took off for, what the hell game did he come over and play? I want to say we just got drunk and played League of Legends for like 24 hours straight.
Man.
Oh yeah, no, we were savages. So there's a great, here, I'll tell this story. There's a great story from that LAN party though, which is, so we did it at my apartment, and my fiance is like in the other room. So I got a full rotisserie chicken though. So, but we're in gamer beast mode, and I don't. Do you go savage mode sometimes when you're like, I'm just gonna go, like, I got to do a gaming binge, or I got to do, like, it's like you want to try to remain a human being, but you just shut down the external factors to focus on the game for a little bit. So you get the pile of energy drinks, and stuff like that, or yeah. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's every day of my life. Okay.
So we're at this point, and we're just I've been there. So we're just I just like my kidneys, so I try not to drink too many of them. And,
dude,
yeah. So we're at that point, and I have a rotisserie chicken, but it's, screw waiting to get a plate and a fork and like cut this. No. We go stand. and stare at my fiance, and we just stare at her while eating the chicken in her doorway, drunk as shit. Don't say anything. Wait for her to look up from her computer, and she's just like, What are you guys doing?" Like, oh god, like, and it was nice because it brought us back to reality for a minute. But I enjoy going. I enjoy going Beast Mode games. I haven't in a while. I did right. Dumbest decision of my life was to do a 24-hour Tarkov stream a day before I moved.
Hell yeah, GG's.
Because
Dedication, get shit on.
Right.
Fuck adulting.
Like, I stopped streaming, I think, at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I gotta move my apartment today. Like, I gotta move apartments today. That's gonna be a problem.
It had to fucking suck.
It sucks so much. And it was, I mean, my brother was super helpful then. I was very grateful to have him in my life at that point, because it was just, well, he's still in my lash. It talks, holy fuck. Realize how that sounds. I was very grateful to have him. I'm very grateful to. So like, you live with your family, and I mean I do too right now. And it's like, how supportive of you are they? Out of curiosity.
Supportive, I guess. Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. It's weird. Like, to me, it's weird because I'll be like I was down.
It's weird. They're just supportive of anything that I want them to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, they're not like asking me like what the video's about or like anything of that. They're not involved any way whatsoever. But they're like, they like to hear of the success when it arrives.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's. So my dad watches all my videos, which is a bit. It's like, it's fine. It is what it is. It's funny, but the weird part is when I'll be like making dinner, like for the family, and then I'll just hear my voice coming out of the other room, and I'll just look, and it, like, they're just in the living room watching me on the TV, and I'm like,
Really?
Yeah. It's
so they're involved in watching your stuff. That's kind of cool.
It's cool. Yeah. I try to talk to them about it.
What's that like? Honestly, what's that like? Because that's probably a little weird of it.
They do not understand it. My dad understands YouTube culture a little bit. Like, he's a lot more into it, and he understands he watches a lot of YouTube videos. He probably watches a shit ton more than I do. My mom, my dad understands it because he understands video games to a point. Like, so yeah, like, he's played games with us. I'm getting him into War Thunder.
Sorry.
Year. No, you're good. I'm getting him into War Thunder this year. We played a lot of console shooters with him. He really enjoyed like the old Medal of Honor co-op series and stuff. And the good Call of Duty World War II one. There's that had the co-op there, because Big Red 1 was Call of Duty, and then there was another one, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like maybe it was Big Red 1. It was the one where you went to the Pacific with Call of Duty, and it was co-op, and I blanking on the name. We played a lot of that, and it was fun playing that with him as a kid. He bought his Grand Theft Auto, and he gets the gamer culture to a point, because he's not a gamer. Like, he's like, his coordination is just not there for like computers and stuff. He's just that age range, and he doesn't really get the memes, but he understands. But he does understand them when they call to him. So like, I use a John Von Claddam. Yeah, I can't say his name. Jean-Claude Van Damme meme, where he's like, you can green screen him in, he's sneaking around, he's just doing stupid stuff. Absolutely kills my dad every time. Like, cause just he doesn't he understands the movie it's from, so he understands the meme reference. And I try to explain him, like, well, that's memes. My mom watches it. Absolutely. Like, she's like, I love you. I have no idea what this is. She doesn't. I try.
No, I think my whole family's pretty like up to date on social media stuff. I feel like they get all the memes. That's funny.
And then my brother watches absolutely every single short that I make, and then
Awesome.
most videos. So like, but we'll we partake in the Zaza account sometimes, and
Okay.
we go out and
You're a degenerate. I got it.
degenerate, we go
Okay.
out in a field, and like a
Yeah.
cornfield, and we sit in a truck, and we just kind of like, and at that point, like, he'll pull up my feed, and like we'll watch videos together and stuff. Like, it's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. My fiance likes watching them occasionally with me. She doesn't like the memes that I make. So, like, some of them she does, but the ones she wants to see are the one with like me and all my friends hanging out, and just like, it's nice, it's cool, but I hate, oh God, I hate making those videos. Like, I like making them, and I hate making them. It's so weird. It's
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Speaking of videos to make,
Mhm.
I want to bring back a series that people don't do anymore, man. It's always one of my favorite stuff. Is like the PvP breakdown stuff. I know Desmond is kind of doing it a little bit more now. Jessica Zam used to do it. Crash used to do it. Um, I just think, like, even if you die, just like when you're W keying around or any kind of situation, you kind of just break it down bit by bit, frame by frame, kind of thought patterns, things you could have done better, things you did, just things you did well.
I
I think it'll
think,
be fun to make.
yeah, it's fun to make. I think it's hard to make good on yourself too much. Like, it because I tried making that content at one point. And then you end up beating yourself up while you're already beating yourself up. So there does have to be I didn't understand how to put constraints on it, I guess, when I tried to make it. But I do. Yeah, no, I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen a PvP breakdown in a long time, now that you
That's
mention
what I'm
it.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And I just enjoy them. Like, even if I'm not really learning anything, it's just cool to hear what people have to say about why they died. Especially in a game like this where so much can go wrong.
Yeah, it's actually
That's unexplained for. So it's just cool to me.
well, that's what I did try at one point to source, and I guess I'm just not at that point as a YouTuber yet, and or I didn't have the connection with my audience, and it's like, you just never know. I tried to source a bunch of clips from them, but I didn't have a good medium besides like, hey guys, here's a Discord link, go post.
It's tough to do that kind of shit.
And I feel so disingenuous when I'm like, hey guys, come check out my Discord to share a link with me, or to share a clip with me, and it's like, it doesn't come out right, and it doesn't feel right, because like, I do want to judge people's videos, but I don't want to. Yeah. It's I trying to think about a PvP. I think it's more
What
fun
you trying to say?
I think it's more fun to break down Timmy PvP than it is high level PvP, because it's more relatable. The problem is getting your hands on Timmy PvP footage.
True.
Like, because you could do general react on YouTube, but even people who like edit and upload their stuff to YouTube, they're not, like, it's going through a curation process. There's very few Timmys in video games where it's like a brand new person to a game, where it's like just raw combat footage, and it's not like my stuff. If I go into a new game, it's hard to take that as a clip and react to it, because I'm probably not uploading a clip. I'm probably uploading a meme, or like a me thing about it, and it's not just Tarkov gameplay. Whereas you have God knows how many channels out there that just upload like raw clips, like unedited, unfiltered, like
Yeah, but those clips don't really do that well. Not a comparison.
well, they don't do well. I guess what I'm saying is, like, those are the clips I'd want to like judge and sift through, and like, I'd really.
I get what you're saying. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm getting at more. Those are the ones that I'd want to see and judge, but it's hard to do that with Timmy's, because they don't
You
upload.
can't. You gotta find the clips, dude. Post a Reddit thread about it. Bam.
Ooh, oh
Like,
God.
send them to me.
Reddit. Oh God, no.
It's a resource.
I have never had a harder time on any Reddit community besides the Escape from Tarkov Reddit community. Is one of the hardest communities to try to like communicate on Reddit with, because it is 90% lowbrow takes. Or
Smooth
it's
brain.
yeah, where it's not their opinion, it's a regurgitated opinion, and I get it, kind of, but it's like I was pretty big into Tarkov memes for a little bit. I'm pretty big into a few other stuff. Like most of my Reddit stuff is like Dungeons and Dragons. It's very little. Like most of my karma over there is from that, and I don't know. I guess Reddit to me is not a great resource for Tarkov. Reddit's a great resource. I like Reddit as a site. It's cool. It's a great concept. Don't like even when I was learning Tarkov, like the Reddit was outside of like wipe week or wipe month, I'd say. The Tarkov subreddit becomes very insularly toxic in a way that even YouTube doesn't. Goat's video is a great example. The moment that come out, like it's the Reddit is the 60% number where they're just like 60% cheaters, bro. Like it's
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah,
it's an echo chamber.
yes, because people are well, because it's weird. Like on Reddit, I feel like a lot of people are posting comments specifically only to get karma, as opposed to posting a comment because they want to say something. That yeah, I don't know if I have more to say on that, but yeah, I agree with you on PvP breakdown. It gives me
The PvP are so fun, dude.
well, it's funny you should say that because what I've been doing is I'm working on video editing breakdown videos.
Whoa.
For the same, yeah. Because I've been watching. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Are you familiar with a guy called Brian Chu at all?
I'm chewing. No.
His content has taken a weird turn. It's interesting. So he was like a Tarkov, like WQ.
Oh, Brian Chu. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So his content now is Tarkov, weed, and Jesus. Like that's
Holy shit.
yeah. It's a weird content. Like that he's going now. He's like, I just love God and I want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, I understand that, but you're also like just getting excessively high right now, and playing Tarkov full tilt.
Right.
This is I'm all there for it. I'm for him exploring himself. I'm not judging any content creator. I've been in dark places. I get it, but it's just such a weird. You know what? Hey, if there's an audience for it, it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Sure there is.
So he edits on live stream now, which I was like, I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I always thought about doing that.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me. I can't do it because the problem is I love listening to music or listening to like podcasts or like I jump on and watch people's streams while
True. Yeah, I do that too, actually.
Yeah.
I'm a Destiny enjoyer.
Oh, God. We could unpack that in a minute. Well, actually, no, we can unpack that now. It's fine because I don't really have a major point to what I was getting at other than. So, I was watching him stream and I asked him a very simple question. I was like, "Hey, why don't you put subtitles in your shorts? Because you have Adobe Premiere, which means you can it just auto captions for you."
Wait, you said who?
Brian Chu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. While he was editing, I'm like, "Hey, man, why don't you subtitle and stuff?" So he immediately started doing it, and he's like, he hated it. And I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, you're doing this in the most painful way possible. Because it's like, don't get me wrong, subtitles take a minute, and I screw them up from time to time. I got pissed. I had like 2 I let go on quality control this week that I'm like, shit, I screwed up. Like I saw what I screwed up after it got released, and I watched I'm like, I don't know how I miss it. So like I try to put a different color for a different speaker in my shorts. Because I think it helps for people that aren't like something to think about in the audio experience, and this really helped me, is watch a video in 2 ways. Number one, especially if it's short enough to do this, shut your eyes, just listen to the video, and then mute your headset and just watch the video. And
yeah, okay.
It's a great way to kind of like take in your content in a very different medium. especially if you're
Makes
doing
sense.
shorts. How many people are watching shorts on like they're on a subway, they're on a crowded place. They don't really get the good audio.
To be
So,
honest, a lot of shorts I watch are via subtitles.
yep,
I have the audio off.
yep, yeah. I'm the same way. I get a lot, yeah, because like, yeah,
It's just easier.
I get a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to watch this short. I just don't have audio
Sometimes
right now for where
sometimes I
I'm
just
at.
want to read. You know.
Yep. And so I was like, so I started making, and I shot and recorded 2 of them already, and they're both kind of mid, so I want to do it again. But like, I'm just streamlabbing while I'm recording, or while I'm editing, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit here and I want to try to make a breakdown video of how I make. Cause I already made a breakdown video of how I make a short, kind of. Um, I basically just did a raw upload of like, hey, I'm gonna edit a short. You can watch me do it. You can
Okay.
watch how I make a meme. But I was like, I watched it back and I was like, it's cool, but it's real time 1-for-1. There's no like explanation or rhyme or reason as to what I'm doing. So it's like
Okay.
it'd be like just gameplay of an editor, for lack of a better word.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanna make one on how to subtitle, because, well, specifically with Adobe, because I think people are.
Yeah, man. I can't. I don't have that feature with DaVinci, man. I do all my subtitles by hand.
I did that for a few videos, especially some long boys. The biggest one I did, I subtitled manually a 30-minute video.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Oh, it is. Like, it is rough. And then on top of that, I made the text pop too. So like, you know, you're doing an effect on all the text when it comes onto the screen. And on top of that, because it's like, it's a game with a lot of people, I was like putting text over people too, so it's like you can see who's talking in the frame.
Right.
And I dumped all this work into it. Video gets like 2,000 views.
Yep. It's like, fuck, not worth it.
Right. And I feel diminished. And like, to go
Yeah.
back into imposter syndrome, like, I feel diminished. Like, I know this is better quality content, but it's not worth it for what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to tell. But when it comes to shorts, oh no, they absolutely need subtitles. So,
Yeah, I agree.
long form videos, so there are some exceptions to the subtitles. I think there's a Airwing Marine is a great example of somebody who subtitles, or at least his editor. I don't know if he edits the shorts. It's always hard to tell with somebody that's big, right? Because it's like,
No, he pays for someone, I believe. He talks about it on a Reddit post or on Twitter or something like that.
okay. But his shorts, they don't subtitle the entire short. They only subtitle the words that are important.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And not for all of them. I just know they did it for some of the shorts, and I'm like, and it's a cool and interesting idea. And I've done it in a few of mine where I only want. Are you familiar with jock jams at all? Like the
Doc
he
Jam.
could go all the way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right. So you have a bunch of that song where it's like building. Well, I mean, that's obviously not just from the song, but like in jock jams, right? The stupid remix they made for basketball and I think hockey. There's a point where they put the he could go all the way in there. So I don't necessarily want to subtitle the song before that or the song after that, but the he could go all the way, like that. Like, that's the emphasis point of the short I'm driving home, and so like I'm gonna subtitle and pop that in. And then yeah, so I like subtitles, especially on shorts. It doesn't take that long. It's like less than 5 minutes, and you don't do this with yours. It's funny. Do you ever watch people who put their subtitles down on the bottom of a short, and you're just
I learned the hard way. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so confused. I'm like, do you not?
It's because they don't know. No, they don't. They probably see it really fine when they're on the preview menu of their editor, but they don't rewatch it on their phone when it's uploaded to realize that it's being blocked out by the fucking title.
Right, because if you watch, well, that's the other thing. If you watch the short in a playlist, or if you watch it,
it's different.
Same thing. Yeah, that's the other thing I hate. I do hate and like about shorts. So, specifically, I don't know if you noticed this. The last like half to 1 second sometimes gets cut off in upload, and sometimes it stays in fine, and I don't understand it. So like if you watch a
The last second.
yeah, so if you watch a short on a phone, not like a second, like a half a second, it's like you're talking about maybe like 2 syllables. So if I say the word
Couple frames.
yeah, so if I say like coward, you'll get cower instead of coward.
Gotcha.
And it's led me to change up my editing style, where I actually have to like think about leaving a blank space on the end to just like, you want a blank space of a video, but it's like but you also, and I've started really thinking about it, like you have the still frame there when you're, so like when your short is going into recycle mode. I used the Will Smith meme one time where I was like, hey, like it's rewind, like I put a hey, it's rewind time at the beginning of the, or at the end of the clip, and it's that way when it comes loops back around. Which is funny. It's cool. I think that's what I love about memes. There's so many cool concepts, but where I relate this all into, like talking about positive, because it's hard to know what works on YouTube, because like I love making content to make content, and I've tried to always keep that as like my main goal and my main focus, right? It's like I want to make content to make content, but I want my content to be better and to be more, I want to say appreciated isn't the right word, or understood isn't the right word. It's not even about like it being viewed. Like I don't even think the word engagement might be the only word I can think of. And
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to
say? Right. Yeah. Like I don't want people to engage as in like they see the video and they reply to me. What I want is people like they see the video and it changes them in some way.
Okay. You want it to resonate with them in some way? More? Is that the right word?
I want to say resonate.
You want to change? You want to see real change from your video, from your content?
I want not real change, but
you
like
want emotional connection to your
emotional change, some kind of emotional connection. Yeah, emotional connection might be the right.
You want to be able to influence emotional shift in your viewer. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah. Have you ever watched the shitty old film You've Got Mail? Like, and how excited they got when they got emails, and then they found out they were in a love affair with somebody, their enemy. But whatever.
The fuck is that?
You ever saw the movie You Got Mail?
No.
It's a stupid rom-com from the 90s about the rise of email, and it's literally like it's just stupid. It's like Romeo and it's base level Romeo and Juliet, just with a book, with bookstores and email. And it's so silly and stupid. I watched a lot of rom-coms when I was younger, just because they were like,
rom-coms were popping back then, though. No,
they were popping, and they were always on. Like every time you just like you put the TV on, and it's like, hey, we didn't have a lot of channels. Like that might also affected this. Like we didn't have HBO or Stars or like Cinemax and stuff. So it's like, you know, the only channels I'm getting are like these public channels and stuff. And so like, or you're getting DVD rentals. Like we did Blockbuster a lot when I was growing up.
Oh yeah. Hollywood Video, Blockbuster.
Right. So you just you go in there and you grab what's on the, like, this is what's popular. Like we're not even looking at what we're grabbing half the time. And it was because you don't, I really hated movie descriptions back then. They made no sense. They still don't. Like, if you ever gone back and read them, it's why that's actually a great inspiration point. So one of the things that helps me solve my imposter syndrome is watching older films and going back and reading like old film descriptions. Because it's like they're so clearly like you can edit. Like I don't want to say you can. Like I can edit better than them. You probably could too, to be honest. In a lot of these cases, where you could probably edit these videos better, and you could probably make a better description for them. But because you exist, and we exist in the world of YouTube now, where there's like video editing and streaming and YouTubing, and like it's not a skill everybody can do it, right? I don't want to make the argument that not everybody can do this, but you know, there's a part.
Some people can't do some things. I'll be honest.
Yeah. But I think the big one on YouTube is just perseverance. And like the I don't want to say YouTube, like just content creation.
It depends what your end goal is.
Yeah.
There are barriers.
Well, that's the other thing. I think having realistic goals is, you know, that's it's tough to set though what a realistic goal is for like
For what?
for what content you're trying to make, right? Like what is, do I have a goal? Should I have a goal for my channel? Should I have a growth goal for my channel, right? Like this is something I've been.
If you wanted to make money, yes.
Yes.
If you're doing it because it makes you happy, or is it some sort of, it's like an art form and it makes you feel good, then that doesn't really matter. But if you want both to happen simultaneously, feel good and growth, you have to do both, kind of thing, right?
Well, and that's funny. That's why I have the two channels, because one is
Yeah,
one is
yeah,
the
yeah.
love channel,
One is
and
analytics and one is creative, and you kind of learn how to do both at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, it's
like those are the people who make it. People who do those two things well at the same time. Not one person, unless you're hyper creative, and I mean like.
You're gonna hate me. I do feel hyper creative some days. I just didn't focus at it, and I don't.
No, I mean
Yeah.
not just people who are like hyper creative. I mean like hyperly successful, creatives. Like people who are like fucking 17 years old making millions because they're just super creative dudes. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think though? Hold on,
they don't have to worry about the business.
Yeah, but if you had the tools you do now in your, like, if, I don't know, because I was the energy I had when I was 17 for dealing with this stuff was a lot more, but I also would have potentially probably uploaded much more. Like if I watch young streamers, I don't that often, because it's, well, it's a weird way to state that, but whatever. They're
Fuck them
more
kids. I get it.
They're more likely to make cringe material versus, I want to say cringe material. Cringe isn't the right way to put it. They're more likely to make socially like driven material. Like they don't know enough about life yet to make like a formed opinion. But they're creative enough to express somebody else's opinion a lot better.
Yeah.
And that's a I look at when I was 17, I dumped a lot of my energy into a lot of other things than I did. And I'm grateful for all that stuff, like, because that built me into the person I am today. So I think it's one of the weird things. Because so did you always make content, or like when it was this just something like 3 years ago you were?
I've always made content, yeah. Ever since I was a teenager. But when I was around 16 or 17, I started uploading like actual videos. I can actually look at the date, the first video actually. That's what actually looked this up. But
I can tell you mine's 14. That might be 15 years ago now. But
back in like 2007. Trying to think. I was playing like competitive Call of Duty, and so I made my first video. I got like a hodgepodge or whatever fucking thing it was, and I'm just looking for this right now. I can't actually find it. I gotta find this old channel. But the reason why I didn't make a lot of content back then is because I didn't know like YouTube would be that big. It was just like YouTube wasn't big back then. Like there was like it was such a fringe thing to do that it just didn't seem like real life. So the older I got, more people were like, just stop doing that, get a job, and it just became that thing. And friends weren't doing it. It was just I was the lone dude making YouTube videos, and it was just a very weird thing. I ended up getting a job in college, and it just kind of fell away. So I started making music in terms of content wise, and I got back to gaming like five years ago, and that's where I am right now talking to you.
It took so I uploaded videos the same thing, because it was like I just needed a place to put videos on the internet to share with like 10 people. And it was YouTube was the answer to that. It was the same thing like Photo Bucket was where I uploaded images to, instead of like, because you didn't have Facebook and Imager and all this stuff. So like you have to look like what options are there. I think it was like Flickr and Photo Bucket were the two big ones before Imager. And like I still don't like Imager, because Imager, when it creates a random link, that's still a searchable link. That photo and image is still searchable. So like it doesn't go away. It doesn't get deleted.
Yeah.
So it's a weird, or maybe it does, because I get weirded out with this, because like if you click an Imager link from sometimes for like 4 or 5 years ago, it's gone that you made. But then sometimes I have ones that like are still active from I think like 6-7 years ago almost. You have one that where We have a very intricate D&D map that I drew, and I have it on an Imager post because it's just easier to share with people. So when you made music, were you making it by yourself in a room, or though, or were you doing it with like a group of people?
I've done it all, man. I played in like jazz bands, I've done music at school, done bands, done tours, and then the most recent reasons that I did make that did the best was all by myself in a room, getting drunk on a MIDI controller.
I I don't. I have an inclination always to like sing when I drink, but never to actually play an instrument. It's like I mean I can play a little bit. I don't know, I say that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I got really big into like sampling and all of that stuff, and got like the Ableton Push, the Akai Renaissance. Like I was fully jammed up, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
They,
Yeah, that was the most expressive like music for sure. I did that because I wanted to make music and it made me really happy and just felt really good making music.
music's very emotional. It's the
Yeah.
I equate it to, I never made music obviously, but I did play, I mean I played music and I tried to make music, but it's hard. Like for me, I always was like in a state. I've never mastered an instrument. I've only like learned them, so it's hard to like I know a little bit of drums. I know mainly bagpipes. I know a little bit of organ. I know a little bit of excuse me, bass guitar. And I know a little bit of acoustic. Like it's not like I can play stuff kind of, but it's not like I'm not actually creating, right? So there's a going back to that like call and answer response type stuff. Um I think in a lot of ways video editing and like YouTubing and stuff was like, but it's that same, I don't know, it's that same vein where well, I guess you look at it like you so I don't know, you made music in multiple areas and making music with different people, and like I take everything I've learned in my life, and YouTube seems to be the only place, and I never realized this when I was growing up, and like you said, like you just didn't think it would be anything when you were younger, and to me, not necessarily like YouTube itself, but the idea of like general content creation, I never viewed as an acceptable career myself when I was younger. I viewed it as a hobby. Like this is a hobby. This isn't meant to entertain people. This isn't meant to inform people. But everything I've done in my life, like this has been a crossroads for it, a place where I could bring it all together in some way. And
Yeah,
that,
I feel like that with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it's curious to me. And I'm so glad I reached it later in life than sooner, like that opinion, because it, with me with the group lead stuff in video games, if I had focused my efforts on like trying to create content, I would have never built the friendships I did in gaming. And I don't I wouldn't trade those, but at the same time, I wish I would have had, because I got reminded of this the other day. Somebody randomly popped up my short channel like, "Hey, I remember you. You used to teach me Arma, and I think you taught me Tarkov on Lighthouse too." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, bet man. Yeah, I taught a lot of people." And it's I enjoyed it. It brought me back to a time where I'm like, I really enjoyed making tutorials, but they were so individualized tutorials that when I make tutorials now, and this is kind of coming in like talking about the crossroads and like imposter syndrome and everything coming together, I can make a tutorial and a training for a group of 40 people. I try to apply those same skills to making a tutorial for the masses on YouTube. Doesn't fucking translate well. And it's been a journey to learn. Um one of my first big videos that blew up was a guy took I uploaded about 6 hours of tutorial footage, and a guy took it and cut it down to about an hour and a half, and he got about 50K views on it. This was 7-8 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even then look at it and go, man, I could probably be a YouTuber. I just looked at YouTube as a place to upload videos still. And I'm like, I never, like, the switch didn't hit until Tarkov.
Mm.
And then
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you. Sorry, I didn't start to keep going.
Oh no, it's kind of it was kind of end of a point. I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. Anything I've always tried to do, I've always wanted to do. Like, I don't know. Hobbies. I don't have like hobbies. Is that weird to say?
Wait, but
Like,
I mean, you do, because editing is. Is it a hobby? I guess it's.
like I don't know. I felt like I've never like had. Like, if I had a hobby, it'd be like riding a motorcycle. Like I said, every now and again when it's working. I fixed it. Like
riding a motorcycle is not a hobby.
Okay.
I would say
experience.
Maintaining and fixing a motorcycle is the hobby.
Okay, yeah. I don't have that.
Because riding, I would consider riding a motorcycle a hobby. I missed riding mine all the time. It is the bucket list item still that I want to get, where I'm like, I want to get another motorcycle because I haven't had one in a while, but it's so like you have to deal with the rain in your area, but like I have to deal with the snow in mine, and it's like you can deal with the rain. I've drove a motorcycle in snow about 4 times now, and 2 of them I put it on its side. It is not. It's not nice. It's not fun because like they just come out of nowhere. It wasn't like you knew there was going to be snow today. It's like no, the weather didn't call for it, and then snow. So, I got caught out in a hailstorm in Canada once. Oh god, that was problematic. Yeah, it was one of the few times I got into a weird altercation too. Like most, like, cause you drive around, I'm assuming down there when you drive around a motorcycle, if it's a rainstorm, if you pull into a gas station, like they're cool with you kind of like hanging out underneath a shelter.
No, I'm trying to get gas. Yeah.
yeah. Like I mean, I would get gas and I would walk in and like patron there. Like, hey, I'm gonna get a drink. You mind if I just park? Mind if I just park my bike here for a bit? I mean, I did. I literally parked it. I got gas, and I was like, I walked inside. I was gonna pay. There was nobody at this gas station there. And there were like 8 pumps. And I walked in.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I walk in. I was like, hey man, do you mind if I just park my bike here till this passes over? I checked the map. It's gonna be like 5-6 minutes. I was like, do you mind if I just keep my bike parked under the pumps there? He's like, absolutely not. He's like, as soon as you're done pumping, you need to leave. I was like, out of here. I was like, all right. I was like, well, do you mind if I pull it up on the sidewalk underneath your overhang at least? And he's like, absolutely not. What?
He's like, that's even worse.
I'm like, all right. Well, and then I just had the items that I was gonna pay for on my hand, and I just put them back on the shelf. I'm like, all right, well, you have a good day, man. And I just,
yeah, for sure.
No, I'm not. What?
Yeah, that was a good cool thing to do, that dude.
So I drove about.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I looked up on. I was like, well, I was filling up because I had to get gas anyways. I'm like, and I really didn't want to get gas there, but I'm like, I'm already here. I pulled up a map. I looked for the nearest bridge, and I went and drove there and parked underneath it. And it was not 5 minutes. I was probably there for about a good 30-40 minutes, but you learn a lot about yourself sitting underneath a bridge with a motorcycle for 40 minutes in a hailstorm. Because you can't, this was back, before phones had like really good internet. Like there's no shorts feed that you're scrolling through and crap like that. Like, and to get weather reports, like I'm calling, 411 for information and stuff. You're not, oh god, that's, actually this is a very interesting conversation. Interesting topic. This is gonna be a very weird segue off imposter syndrome. But I'm curious, so newer gamers coming up have more access to information than we ever did, but I don't feel like majority of them don't seem to ever go out and get it and try to apply it and try to grow basic skills. And it seems to me like a lot of gamers are, I don't say a lot of gamers. What
do you mean like basic skills?
So like learning to pie a door in a video game, right? Like like how you're going to corner check a door properly, like how you check left and right side.
Okay. I mean, that's just like the age-old question, isn't it? You can lead a horse to water kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just confusing to me to watch as like society grows up. Like we have so many guides on YouTube that teach basic tactical information, and I've had people when I play squad or hell let loose, like public people, like they don't, when you talk about like the idea of doing a flank over comms, they don't understand what to do. And yeah, I don't mind taking I take a few minutes of my time to explain it. It's like we're gonna move over, we're gonna get around the enemy, and we're gonna hit them in the side so they don't see us. Because there's gamers out there who go, I don't want to run in a circle around the enemy. I want to run at. Why aren't we attacking the point? You're like, no, we are attacking the point. We're flanking the point, or we're providing a screening maneuver, or something. And it's they, you bring up some of these terms and some of this stuff, and it's.
I had a guy say he was flanking one time, and flanking to me, I assume like you're gonna go to the left, to the right, or behind the guy. He came up behind me, my own teammate, and so I killed him. And I was like, "You said you were fucking flanking." Right. It's like I did. I'm like, "That's not a flank. That's like bringing support. You're supporting. You're reinforcing. You're coming to me." Like there's so many other things he could have said. He's like, "I'm flanking. I'm pushing. I'm flanking the enemy." I'm like, "Okay, awesome." And then we ended up dying, and I killed him. I'm just like, "Well, it's
Tarkov's the hard one with it. I played. So there's this one cool girl I played with in Tarkov. I don't think I've told you about her yet. Just weird as shit, because her first PC game and her first shooter game is Escape from Tarkov. And okay. I like, you're just stepping. To me, Tarkov is like one of the most complex shooters to like.
That was the first PC game I learned.
PC game is a little bit different from shooter, because like just the concept of a shooter and like the push and like pull mechanic of like a fight. I could not imagine trying to learn that in Tarkov, because like I learned that in Halo and Battlefield and Call of Duty, was like just the like how to screw with somebody. It was so fun playing the new Call of Duty, where you just like tag somebody and then go walk around a corner, wait 2 seconds, then just peek the corner and shoot them in the head. It's like, it's the age old trick of just bait a shot. And I really miss doing some of that stuff with easy hit indicators, because Tarkov, it's so hard to get people to push you for good reason. Unless they're pushing you. Rephrase that. It's hard to get people to push you unless they are a PvP just. I want to kill everybody on this map, and then you're gonna have a hard time getting them to not push you.
True. I get what you mean. Sometimes I want people to push, and they just fucking sit. I'm like, damn it, I have the best angle. Just push, man, so I can kill you.
Just push, and then they get on VoIP and they yell, "Push! Why aren't you pushing me, you pussy?" And you're like, "Why aren't you pushing me?"
Yeah,
it's my immediate response. Why don't you push me?
What do you have your push to talk set to for Tarkov?
It is mouse button 4.
Ooh, I need to do that.
I like it there. It's one of the
I could talk
ones.
Shit better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at it in terms of switching all my games over to it. My push to talk key for a long time was V, and is V on like TeamSpeak and some games. And a lot of people gave me shit for it, and then like games like Squad started coming out, where V is also on their push to talk, like it's one of their push to talk keys. I'm like, well, other people think it's in an appropriate place. I also rest my hand on my keyboard weird. And your opinion of me might change after this, because we haven't talked about this yet. I put my ring finger on W.
Excuse me?
Yeah. This is a bit of a controversial. I found this out in life after I told someone this, and I talked to a lot of gamers about this. Yeah, I put my ring finger on W, and my pinky goes on A.
I'm not judging you. I just think it's disgusting and you're degenerate. That's all.
The reason I like it is because I tend to claw hand my hand up a lot on my keyboard. So I actually pivot my thumb to hit the keys on the right side of my keyboard, as opposed to bringing my hand off my mouse to do it. So, or having to pick my hand up completely. I find it very useful, But I also understand, like I've tried doing I'm assuming your middle finger on W, like most people.
Yeah, I'm not a degenerate. I'm a metaculture here. Okay. What the fuck? It's so weird. I mean, I've seen some really interesting configurations.
Mhm.
I've seen people use like spacebar for crouching and just different stuff like that.
Oh, that's
But
weird. That's a weird one. Yeah.
yeah, spacebar for crouch. I was like, really? He's like, yep. The PUBG player, better than the PUBG player.
Oh, that could make sense where you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that, because if you're crouching more than you're jumping,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Okay, I was gonna say there's very few games I could see that with, and I was thinking Tab G, which is the meme version of PUBG, and I think more fun personally between the two. Did you ever play? Have you ever played Totally Accurate Battleground Simulator?
No, what is that?
So it's PUBG in meme form.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really stupid, but it is fun. It's good fun with the right people, because it's PUBG if PUBG didn't take itself serious. And
Mm-hmm.
I that's a did you when PUBG was at its, I guess before Tarkov, then what drove you into PC gaming? Or is Tarkov
Why
it
did I get a PC? The reason why I got a PC was to stream.
okay.
I was still 100% ride or die controller player. Console all the way. I
You
just got it so
Xbox
the streams
play
could look
or
better. A
Sony?
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Okay.
Yeah, I started on Xbox, but yeah, PlayStation. I just ended up getting just like that. But yeah, and then I got Tarkov, and then I learned mouse and keyboard. That's it was the only reason why. It was around Christmas. It was one of the sales, and my buddy's cousin was like, "Hey man, you heard this game Tarkov? It looks cool. You should get it. It's like $20." I'm like, and we all decided to get it that day, and we all played. I'm the only one who still plays.
I'm so glad I didn't pick up Tarkov with a group, because I probably would have hated it and never fell in love with it, because I would have started playing it, I would have tried to help everybody, and instead I do that in Tarkov, so like I play with new people, and it's hard to not help. Like it's hard to not help a new player, like a brand new player. But I don't want to help them too much, because like this is weird. I every time I get somebody new into Tarkov, I'm like, listen, I'll help you out with the stash management, I'll help you out with, like, we'll play a couple raids together. I was like, but you really need to play some solo raids.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like,
I agree.
I'll show you how to get out on customs or woods, and
Yep.
we'll do one map, and then you'll
I'll,
be
sh-
good to
I'll,
go.
I'll show you the route. I'll show you where to pick up. I'll show you where to run. Good luck.
And then, because you need to get what, like, welcome to Tarkov is a thing that can only happen once to you, where you just
Mm-hmm.
the game has to break you to build you back up, and any
Yeah.
good video game does that. Rocket League did that to me. Weird segue of a game, but like Rocket League broke the shit out of me, because I'm like, I don't understand how to play this game, because I don't understand how to. I don't know if you got into Rocket League at all. Every consoles, it was somewhat decent on consoles, but
No, I never play Rocket League.
so you familiar with it or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Soccer
with
racing.
cars. Yeah.
Soccer racing.
Soccer racing. Weird game, because it's weird manipulation, because you don't. Yeah, that's all. It was just very.
It's really hard for me.
Yeah, it was a really weird physics based control, and any game that does that, like where it's like it's gonna. Any game that's good though forces you to reevaluate what you consider a necessary mechanic in games. Tarkov did it for me. I hate video games where I have to hold shift to sprint now. It is a quality
I
of life
like
thing
it.
for me. Where you have to hold. I love toggle sprint.
Oh yeah, no, I love holding sprint. I don't know what it is. I got the strongest pinky in the land.
I just want it. I want my pinky free to hit that controller caps lock, and it's. I don't. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. It's So count. All right, Sony on console. I'm gonna try to guess, because I played PS. I played PlayStation up until PlayStation 3 was my last PlayStation. And Xbox 360s were my last consoles. You're a FIFA boy? I'm gonna no. Try.
You try to guess what game I played on console?
I'm trying to think of what a good, like, I'm assuming shooter, but like I feel like most of the good shooters are on Xbox, with the exception of Red Faction is on PlayStation. Um, and Killzone, which I think we talked about
You'll
before.
never guess it. I don't think you'll ever guess it.
Yeah, I mean, unless
I'll give you three chances, and then I'll say
all right,
top three.
let's see if it's one. If it's a weird one, SOCOM Combat Navy SEALs would be one I
No,
can think of that's weird. Uh, 007 Nightfire.
nope. Never heard of these games, bro.
uh, I mean the other one that I think a lot of people identified with was Killzone. I thought was really good for PlayStation, but they never made more of them. But I'm guessing none of those.
Mm-mm. So, what were you trying to guess? The games that I played like most recently on when I was playing on console, when I was a console
Yeah,
boy,
yeah. I'm trying to think of what was in the
like
market.
within like the last 5 years, and when I all started gaming again.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was H1Z1 PlayStation.
Oh, that I think we talked about this one. I almost ruined a friendship over H1Z1. So that man forced me to buy it, and I reevaluated our entire friendship based on this
No,
being his favorite game of all time.
this was a free to play PlayStation only version.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That
It was a battle royale, everything. It was fucking.
wait, so it wasn't okay. So it wasn't like DayZ where you ran around.
It wasn't just Survive. No,
Oh, okay.
it was just Survive, and then they made H1Z1,
That's
which became like the BR version of it.
That's right. I forgot they made a BR version after I stopped playing that piece. I don't want to call it a piece of shit. It was no, it was the survival part of it was just so. Oh my god,
A lot of people loved it, man. It was crazy how like much love it got, and then it just kind of like died.
So it came from the reason I think it got a lot of love is because it came out. Sony Online Entertainment used the PlanetSide 2 engine, if I remember correctly, for it, and PlanetSide 2 was so big they were able to. H1Z1 was like when you booted up PS2, you booted up a launcher like Tarkov. H1Z1 was sponsored in there. So like a
Yeah,
good chunk of it came from there, which that's a game that if you want to play sometime might be an interesting concept to play. I don't know where
Planet
you're at.
Side.
PlanetSide 2. It's an odd one because I mean it's it's 600
I've had people tell me about it.
600.
I probably won't play it anytime soon, but I have had people tell me how cool it is.
Cool concept. It's once you get into it, it's a gotcha game in so many ways. Like between how the like gear unlocks and how the weapon unlocks, and it's not pay to win, but it's pay to advance. Like really bad. Like I would say up there with like War Thunder level pay to advance, which is pretty goddamn bad. I love War Thunder, but one of the worst games to try to get somebody new into.
Yeah, I have it. I don't know. Not really into like vehicles.
Have you ever played Enlisted?
Yeah, I played it. Wasn't really into it.
Yeah, too much, way too many bots. Way too.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was just, it's a cool concept, but it's not something I wanted to play at the time, and not really ever really want to play. But it is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Oh no, 100%. Enlisted is something I played a lot of it when it first like came into beta access, and like I played it early access, and I was like, it's a really cool concept and it's fun. I'm kicking ass and I'm topping the scoreboard every time. And then I'm sitting there, I'm going, I'm topping the scoreboard every time. There's no,
And it's bots.
it's bots. Like primarily what you're shooting is bots. Yes, they're player controlled bots, kind of, but
Kind of sometimes, yeah.
kind of sometimes. But it was really easy. You just grab an SMG, walk behind the enemy, and then you kill all of their bots, and then you kill the player, and now all of a sudden you have a 7 KD. Like it was so strange. It was very strange of a game. Cool concept though, like you said. Just trying to think of a good shooter. Oh god, I want there to be a good shooter coming out, and I can't think of a
Tarka.
I will say Arma Reforger, I've been really enjoying the PvP in. lately.
Really?
Which is Arma's new engine, and it's a better version of DayZ's engine. And it is, for the first time in a while, I popped off in a game where I didn't realize I was popping off, and it just kind of like, I don't know if you've ever done that, where you're just like, you're in a slog gaming and you're like, you're kind of playing, but you're not really, you don't have that moment where like the doom music kicks in. And
Right.
yeah, and so I was just having that moment. I killed like 7-8 people in a row and then
So,
captured their base. Right. And it's 18 on 18, or no, 16 on 16. So like killing half their team in a game where I take one bullet. It's just, oh, it was super satisfying. And I love the fact that there's cross VoIP in the game. So I can like yell at people that I'm shooting at, and they can yell at me, and I can intercept their comms and stuff. It's a lot of good fun. But the game is, needs a lot of love. A lot of love and a lot of work. So it's one of those ones that you know when you play in a game and it just feels sluggish and it feels off and it feels, yeah, that's where
I do.
Reforger's at. It's like it's there, it's almost there.
So
But
what
then,
is Reforger? What is it?
so Arma Reforger is the Arma series is for the first time switching to a new engine. So
Okay.
since 2001, when they released Operation Flashpoint, they have been on the same engine.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, insane to think about that they've been rocking a 20-year-old engine. But so they finally have a new engine, which allows for, proper water in the game, for example. Like you can actually have creeks and rivers and stuff for the first time in their engine, which is beautiful. You actually get in and out of vehicles properly, so like when you go up to a vehicle, like just little things like that are cool. So anyways, the game is Arma Reforger, because they're going to a new engine, and Arma is a sandbox game where its fun completely comes from modders and the community and not the developers.
Right.
Reforger is a chance for modders to work on the game. And for people who are like my position, where I'm like, I want to administrate an Arma 4 server and I want to run an Arma 4 like PVX campaign. Did I ever tell you what I did in Arma 3?
Mm-mm.
So what I did was something called Zeus. Are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine the DM of Dungeons and Dragons, but in a first-person shooter, in a military scenario. So I would create a narrative, create a scenario. I would create campaigns. And sometimes they'd have missions and mini missions, but like normally we do like 2 main missions a week. So every Friday and Saturday, we'd get together and we'd play 3 hours, 4 hours each. And it'd be anywhere from like 15 to 40 people. We kind of averaged out around like 30 for a while, which I felt was like a sweet spot. Like 20, I think like 25 to 30 is a sweet spot for Arma. Kind of like the more you get, it just becomes bloated and problematic. But during this, I'm controlling the entire Op4 team. So I can direct control in, so I could immediately quick control any enemy player and then go full PvP on the players themselves.
Hmm.
It got to the point where I built a team of Zeuses, because we'd have multiple people doing this role.
Okay.
Where we would all be doing controlled Op4. And so you're not going like full PvP, you're going like, I had to explain it to some people, because some people would Zeus in and like they're not good at shooting, and I'm like, I don't really care. I don't need to have a discussion with them, because they're like a Timmy when it comes to shooting. Their aim is so fucking off, it doesn't matter to tell them like, hey, aim off a little bit, because you have a God mode view and know exactly where the players are. Take a minute, understand it's about fun. Yes, it should be a challenge. Yeah, if the players cross the street, I'm gonna rake them with a machine gun. Or one of my favorite moments. I was training in New Zeus, and everybody thought it was the New Zeus that's like just completely screwed up, and like they wiped the entire platoon. I was like, nah, I did that to you guys. I'm gonna show you the footage. Why? I don't think I ever uploaded it to my YouTube channel, but they were doing an armored assault into a town, so they have a couple tanks. The enemy get an aircraft into the area, so now for me, I was just planning to like rake the tanks. I didn't have any armament on the plane to actually kill the tanks with. So I jump into the plane, and it's a realistic flight control. I dive on the tank, and the players, I hear them over the radio calling the plane in the air. Half the platoon condenses on the tanks for cover, which are the target I'm planning to attack. And I don't pull my gun strafe off. I still like strafe the tanks to try to track them. Kills half the platoon instantly. And so they all got to go back to like form up screen. The ones that did live, now they're all injured. It's going to take them 20 minutes to bandage up and like just get everybody mass casualty treated. We got to fly another helicopter in to actually get the people to like reinsert. It's a great scenario, but they're pissed now. And so it's like, you kind of get it with consoles. Like when you play like PvP in person, you have to. Are you the older brother or younger brother? Out of curiosity,
Older.
Yeah, older. Okay, so you had a bit of maybe different advantage, but like the idea of physical combat is always there when playing PvP games in real life with your siblings.
Right.
Yeah, so like me and my brother punched each other a lot growing up.
Right.
You can't. So with online though, it's different. Like if you PvP people that you're trying to create a scenario for too much, like they full leave. So it was a fun struggle to get used to learn. I'm getting off tangent, but it was a fun way I had to learn to control my PvP skills and put them at a lower skill. Like I had to lower how much I'm aiming, how quick I'm aiming. Like I'm shooting at people, but I'm intentionally missing, right? And it actually created a weird trigger in my brain when I went to Tarkov that I had trouble like aiming on people. Like I started realizing that my PvP skills were diminishing because I got used to aiming at somebody and then immediately aiming off of them. So like I was pulling I got used to pulling all my shots. And yeah, fun times. Arma is going to be great. Reforger. So in Reforger, to kind of fast track this forward, what I do have a goal of, and I already have the people picked out that I want to do this with, but I'm going to put two like Tarkov Chad snipers in a mission, and their mission is to kill all of the like players who can respawn. And then the players who are respawning have an objective where they have to go fight AI. So it's that PvX mentality of like I love what Tarkov is like. I think the Mac daddy of this right now, and it's gonna be for a little bit, where you have player versus player going on, but player versus player is not the end goal of the game. Which to me is so like it's so contrary to every other PvP game. Like Call of Duty Team Deathmatch or like Capture the Flag, right? The is there a Capture the Flag in the new Call of Duty? Probably not. Not. Anyways, I don't know if that makes sense. Sorry, I kind of went on a bit of a tangent.
Just gotta let you go sometimes.
Got to let it send.
Yeah, man. So what do you think you can do to help get away from imposter syndrome?
Well, I think some of the things I kind of talked about today, but the biggest thing is getting out of your own head. And that is difficult to do when you're also trying to analyze your content and improve, because it's difficult to tell, like, what are you giving yourself valid criticism, or are you beating up on yourself? That's a fine line to cross. For me, what I've started doing is limiting, like I really limit how much I think about the future of my channel. So I do spend time like trying to like workshop my brand and all that stuff still, and like trying to create like thorough, consistent stuff, like lines, I guess, in my content that people can follow as opposed to just random nonsense on the internet.
Right.
And pathing that, in my opinion, will lead to the dissolution of imposter syndrome, because there's never going to be, I don't think there's ever going to be a point in YouTube, like even if I hit, I think like 500k subs, which to me is unfathomable with my content.
You think what?
Unfathomable with my content. Like with where my content's at right now, I shouldn't ever reach 500k subs. So my content needs to improve to get there. I know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, but I could see my content like hitting the right audience and finding like a 20 to 100k niche. And so for me, it's like trying to determine what I'm aiming for and what I'm what I'm aiming for on YouTube. And it's not like necessarily a number goal, but like the trying to pick a goal, like a high goal, like one that I'm not really ever going to reach, but I should always be aiming for, that has nothing to do with analytics, has been my solution to try to combat imposter syndrome. And it's difficult to do that because then it's an abstract goal as opposed to, at the end of the day, I mean, I want this to put bread on the table. So there is, you're the same, like you want it to generate revenue, and I know what that number is for me. Because I have to compare it against my real world career. I hate real world. I hate the real world. Do you ever? Well, no, I hate that term. It's one that's always pissed me off in life. I just don't know a better way to describe it to people, because there's like real world and then there's game world. But to me, they're, well, like you were saying, like you met a lot of your gaming friends and stuff, like you met them on YouTube, and then it's like I don't look down on those friendships or relationships, because I've had ones, I'm going to be driving next weekend. I'm going to be driving to see one of my buddies that I met online. We've been hanging out since he was, 16. I was, I think, 18 at the time. We're 12 years ahead now in our relationship as a, as in friendship. And it's like, we've gotten together in real life a couple times, this is another time we're getting together. And it's not like, to me, the friendship, it's like, it's not, and the bonds you can form online aren't any different from the ones you can form in the real world. They're just harder to, it's a good way, like easy come, easy go might be a good way to describe it. It's a good way, like short-term viewers, great example, same thing, like they're easy come, easy go. And you have to, like, learning to suss those ones out. Where it's, they're there to, I've made the joke to you several times with like the go to labs. Just go to labs. And then they just leave your fucking stream. And you're like, okay, I don't.
Yeah. Go to labs thing is annoying, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I guess, how about you? That's what I do to combat imposter syndrome. I try to like get outside the analytics and the stuff. That way it's, my focus is on something other than numbers. But I do look at numbers for analytical viewpoint, but I also look at them as I disagree with you. Like kind of like you were saying earlier, like you make two videos that are effectively the same video, or effectively the same kind of tone or the same pacing, or like this video should work, but one gets 5,000 views, one gets 6 views. It's hard to look at that and go, I did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You might have posted at the wrong time. You might have needed to wait a week to post that clip. Like, you don't know, but YouTube's not going to tell you, and focusing and worrying on it to me is irrelevant. But you still, it's there in the back of your head. Yeah. But I guess, like, what do you do to try to combat it?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I really don't. I don't even have an answer for it. It's a thing. It's real. It's being experienced, but it's just, because they try not. You can, like I say, like I try to ignore it, but
yeah, Yeah, there's cool because there's no. I think the issue with it from like a content perspective is, sometimes I don't think we're doing. I don't put this in a bad way, but like neither of our channels are doing anything super unique. I look
No,
at
not really, not yet.
yeah, because I don't want to say you're trying to find, like, I know for me, I'm still trying to find like my voice, and I'm still trying to figure out that path to go down. And it's that to me is still a driver for me and a good enough. Like, I'm okay not making it quote unquote on YouTube yet because like I don't have myself figured out in terms of what my content is. And like if I were to write down my content in one paragraph, it's a jumble mess, like to describe it to somebody. That's what I just say. Like if somebody asks me, I make gaming content on YouTube. I make memes and gaming content, and I leave it
Yeah.
at that because making any other assertion is gonna go over people's heads, and it's gonna turn into a rant. So, yeah, it's I don't that to me is where I look at it, is trying to write it down and figure it out, and not get stuck in your head. It's best way I can. But who
Yeah,
the
not
hell
get stuck in
knows?
your head. I try to look at it as like maybe I'm trying to think about it. Like I try to take those situations, be like, all right, well, maybe I just change it up completely. You know, the only
Well,
way to really look at it. If nothing's working and it's just like you don't even feel good about it, it doesn't make sense to you, like internally, um, turn it upside down, do something else.
that's why I asked that question in the group DM chat we had the other day, where I was like, "Hey, how do you guys deal with like content gaps?" Because like where you just sit and want to take a, I don't want to say want to take a break from making content, but like you need to, like, stepping away from something to understand it better. Like me stepping away from streaming has helped, but I have the position to do that right now because I'm, not nickel and diming. Well, I don't want to say nickel and diming, but like, yeah. Anyways, I'm not eating chicken patties for dinner every night right now with water to
Yeah,
wash it down. It's when you're in that kind of mode where it's like it's make or break YouTube. It's a lot harder to go to take like a week off from doing
yeah,
things.
yeah. It feels like you're being lazy in some weird way.
Yes. Out of curiosity, like your power outage shit like that, like has that given you any clarity? You feel like because it's giving you like I don't want to say power outage, internet outages.
Nah, not really. Honestly, it was nice being forcing myself. I mean, I was forced not to do anything, so that was kind of cool. Um, I mean, I think honestly, it took away the fire. Like I was, yeah,
Yeah.
it took away like the big fire in the engine. So now I'm kind of like on autopilot, trying to see like what I want to create to kind of make me feel large and in charge.
I'm the same way with my main channel. Funny you should. So I was talking to my the group I've been doing Arma with, and we did a 6 mission campaign together, and I'm still editing the 5th and 6th videos of those, and I really don't like how the first 3 videos turned out, but I'm already like in this series that I'm making, so I want to finish the series just to like prove to myself I finished the series. But I was very upfront with everybody. I'm like, I'm gonna take radical changes in my content in the next year, guys, because I just can't anymore with making videos in the, so like I like doing the long format. It's like we were talking about. So like with Arma, I'm editing a 3 hour mission down to 12 minutes. That's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of editing. It's one of the beauties about Tarkov is it's easy to like installate a moment. And when I started realizing what I was doing with Arma, which is what I was doing with Tarkov, and I'm starting to see these cycles with how I view games, where I'm like, every moment is great, every moment is beautiful, and it's not. It's like it's beautiful to you and your friends, but that's the other problem though, is because it's so new and you're new to something. I won't say new. I'm not new to making Arma content, but like when you're making something for the first time and you go like, this is exciting because it's new to me. It's not new for an audience person watching it.
Yeah,
And
because they're always consuming it.
yeah, and it's, you know, how do I make what I made different? And for me, it's those individual stories in those individual moments. And I've been like I said, Tarkov makes it easy to edit them. I think War Thunder is also a great one because like you have a life, you know, you have one life and then you have one round, right? And it gives you this easy constraint on a scenario to tell a story in. So, but I look at other games and it's like Call of Duty, great example. I had such trouble making content in Call of Duty that wasn't just like lowbrow humor. And
Yeah.
yeah, because like the game calls for it, because it's not like, it's fun and I'm having fun in it and I'm having fun editing the videos, but I'm like, if I just edit,
That's not what the community is used to seeing.
yeah, it's not the same, and it's also not the. Do you ever make choices with that? I guess, you know, I know we're getting a little late here, but like, do you ever make choices about what game to play or what content to make in a game because it's like, if you start making content in it, like, you can see the path you'd go down because you kind of already went down it with Tarkov. Like, does that give you fear or pass, or does it, like, are you more concerned with what your audience wants, what you want to make content in? How are you trying to make new content?
The best way to look at it, personally, is you say my audience, and I don't know. I don't see it as my audience. I see it as a audience that I'm doing something for.
That's a great way to put it, because it's not.
Like, I'm not big enough to have a audience, so I'm just doing stuff to the void.
Oh, that
And
is a great way to put that. I never thought about it that way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go.
Yes. So I look at it that way, and so I create content. If I were to create content on something else, I would say, well, what is that audience kind of looking for? What do my skills translate over into that kind of like situation? And if it does translate over into those situations or kind of creative outlets, can I provide any value in that lane? And if I can, then yeah, it wouldn't scare me or be any bit of fear making those transitions.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, so there's no fear of the transition. For me, I guess there was two parts to it. So there's part of like fear of transition, which I'm glad, you know, I don't have it anymore either. It took me like, after I blew up with Tarkov and like I started releasing a few other videos, and I guess this is the way I phrased it in my head, but I like the way you phrase it about like, it's an audience, not my audience. Is, you know, I told my viewers, I was like, guys, I like the ones, like, I started uploading like War Thunder videos, and I had people comment like, I don't really like War Thunder, don't upload these. And I'm like, well,
Who said that? A person watching your channel?
yeah, like people who like, so if somebody would like, let's say somebody comments on like 40 videos, so I know they're like a routine viewer, but they only comment on Tarkov videos, and then I release a War Thunder video, and then they like don't, like, I don't want to say don't release I can't remember the exact phrasing, but the vibe is like, I'm not gonna watch this.
Is that what the comments on the video saying?
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, that's okay though. To me, I was like, I wasn't a problem with that. I was like, well, because I'm not trying, the way I always framed it in my head is, I'm not trying to make videos for that person. I'm trying to make videos for the audience I don't have. Like, I'm trying to make videos for the people who aren't subbed to my channel mainly.
Well, it's like a balance, right? Because if you are making stuff that guy likes, other people in essence are liking it too. He's part of a specific audience that you're making stuff for. So what he's saying is like, I'm not liking it. It's also referencing like other people aren't liking it too. So when you make something outside of like that audience, then yeah, that's going to happen.
That's the trick part too, right? Is like, you need the, like, but it's a yin and yang moment, because you need, I like when people comment negatively on videos just as much as I do positively, especially if it's like, I don't like this, or I didn't like what you did here, or whatever. It is what it is. And
At the end of the day, just make stuff,
right,
you know,
yeah,
and the audience that Yeah, like you said, you're making stuff for people who aren't your audience yet, kind of idea to make an audience.
But
So
you
you're
do have
just
to.
pushing stuff into a void of audiences, and then eventually some people stick around who just like you, and that's the idea, right? You bring people in who like you.
Well, that's been the fun thing to watch on the Shorts channel because I radically change content on there. Like watching the subscriber fluctuation because I fluctuate now like maybe like 10 to 20 subs a day. It's funny like because I'll go from like 900 to 930 back to like 910, which is it's insane to me because I'm making such. I've decided this early on. I'm like either people are on board with me being a variety content creator or they're not. Like it's I had to when I decided that in my gut, I was like, I'm going to lose subs over this because people are gonna sub to me going, I like
Yeah.
this guy, he's the Tarkov guy. I like this guy, he's the War Thunder guy, and then they realize I make other content.
Yeah,
And this
that's
is
why
yeah.
that's why was a nice guy. He was kind of smart with it. He made a bunch of different nice guy channels, and that the Tarkov one took off the most. So he's just making Tarkov here.
Yeah, he's a great example of that. Ace did the same thing. I don't know if you're familiar with Ace's. Oh God, what's his? I think it's Ace's TV or something. I don't remember, but like he splits his channel for Tarkov because Tarkov is such a big part of that channel. They split it off, and there was a part of me that thought about doing it, but the idea of managing yet another channel right now
But
just seems
yeah,
daunting.
I feel like that guy's different than even nice guy though, because that you said that guy makes two different things on his channel.
No, oh sorry. So he separated out a
He has
Tarkov
two different
channel.
channels.
He has multiple channels for Tarkov
Hmm.
opinions and then one for like his normal gaming content. And I think he has a third one,
But
but
it's all Tarkov.
yeah, one channel's all Tarkov. And it's a cool concept, but to me I look at that and go, doesn't this limit your potential future of this channel? Because at some point you are going to have to pivot.
No,
Um
not really. So okay, there's a guy named NC Hammer 23, and he makes Naruto content on one channel. He's tried to go to other content, but if you make content on one specific thing, even if it's a saturated like a place like Tarkov, if it's really good, you don't need to pivot because it's just really good content. But the moment you try to pivot when the content is already like established, it doesn't work, and it doesn't really ever work because people are only coming to that. The algorithm's only pushing it out for one specific thing. So he's made other channels, and every channel he's made in the last year goes over 100,000 subs.
Well, that's and then
Every single channel.
and then it becomes its own. So
Then it becomes its own ecosystem. But so he started off with Naruto, and then he made another one called the Weeb Commander. The Weeb Commander is all anime breakdowns, the same way he does his Naruto stuff, just different. And so he knows people are looking for different stuff, but the channel is not going to recommend it to anybody. So he consistently promotes that and be like, hey, if you're looking for other things, he has a great pitch. The intros to his videos, spot on to this fucking guy. It's not super cheesy, but it's very YouTube. You know what I mean? He promotes all the things he needs to, and he gets right into the information. And it works really well. Now he has a podcast channel, and that's already over like 15,000 subscribers in less than like a month or so. Like that's the system that's working right now.
That's funny you mentioned that again. It's like it's one thing I want to get better at. I'm trying to practice it to get better at it. My delivery is so wooden on please subscribe, please like it's very it's so inauthentic that like I get what you mean when someone's like it's YouTube but it's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm
glad
that made sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's very oh god, that's something I'm gonna go look him out, check him out because that's something I struggle with still is
he's great, dude. He really is. I don't like hype people up that I don't even care about nobody, but like I think he's doing the right thing. I found him when his main channel. I found him when he had under 100,000 subs, dude. It's been a year. He's at like 500,000 on his main channel.
Yeah, that's what
and it's just talking about Naruto. It's not flashy edits. It's just his face with a couple still images, and he does that like weird zoom in thing.
Yeah, but he's I guess this is what makes content easy for that kind of stuff is if you're into, like, if that's what you're already into, it's really easy to just put up a camera and talk about it.
Super. Yeah. He's a fucking dweeb.
And it's like, I've noticed,
you know what I mean?
So like, I've noticed a lot of my Tarkov videos do well if I just do an opinion piece, right? If I just like, it's whatever footage going on in the background and it's just me talking with an opinion piece. It does good, but I'm also kind of like, I know this sounds maybe like superficial. I don't want to be just another random opinion piece on, like, I don't want to make opinions just to make opinions.
I understand what you're saying, but to drive your car, you have to put the wheels on it.
True. That's, ooh.
You got to put gas in the engine. So those opinion pieces are gas in the engine to promote the things that you find fun that YouTube isn't going to promote.
That might be a good way to, it might be an interesting way to look at it. Is do opinion pieces as effectively, you use them as marketing videos.
100%.
Well,
100%.
I don't know about you, but Brain is definitely getting tired of how you stream today. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna do some recording. I'm making another cup of coffee. I know everybody wants the game today, so I'm gonna get some time on with the boys.
Do you wanna sign us off?
I hate all of you. Goodbye. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. Thank you, guys. For us, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you find any of this fun, comment on the video. Maybe you can join us for a talk next time. Much love. Peace.
Deuces.